muted, so you don't have to worry about anything. Okay, we should be live. I'm gonna fade into me in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, good afternoon, and good whatever time it is, and welcome to another episode of TREVANTINE, the podcast in which you get to hear the thoughts, feelings, and emotions of an 18-year-old senior being affected by the coronavirus. So, lately, a lot of stuff has been happening in regards to just how our society functions overall. And one of the biggest changes has been in the retail. I know every time I go to the store, every time I go to go get groceries or something, everyone has masks and glove on now, and it's just like a huge ordeal. With me today, I have one of my oldest, closest friends, Mr. Caleb Dorset, on here in a Zoom call. He works at Target, and he will really just tell us what it's like working there with the coronavirus. So, Caleb, would you like to introduce yourself today?
I think you gave me a good introduction. I'm Caleb, and I work at Target.
So how long have you worked there?
I started there in December, I think, so not that long.
Okay. What was whenever Corona started coming through? What was like the biggest change, biggest difference that you noticed?
Well, we've definitely implemented a lot of new cleaning procedures. I know that a friend of mine, he'll have entire shifts where all he does is just clean every single thing in the store. Like they tell him where all the handles are, and he has to go clean that. He has to go clean the doors, handles on soda machines, the self checkout registers, everything like that. Even like I think we have to clean down all of like the belts for like the conveyor belts at checkout and everything at self checkout before another customer comes. So really, I think the cleaning is the biggest change.
So would you guys say you're cleaning like everything way more than you have ever have in the past?
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely taking a lot more like protective measures. I think we're also providing all employees with like gloves. I'm not sure about masks, but probably they're all being provided. I think they're going to become mandatory very soon, though.
Yikes. Do you have, if you don't want to disclose, this is perfectly fine, but was there like a hazard pay bump that you get because of this?
Yes, there was. That's like their to I don't know the right word to use.
Like
They're like
incentive?
thanks to their employees.
Mm. They're like gratitude, huh?
Mhm.
Yikes. Do you think this pay is worth it when you could contract this potentially lethal disease virus?
Um, I think for some people who like this is like they're much older than I am, and this is like their full time job. I think for some like older people that work there, that it's definitely not worth it. But for somebody like me who's young and still in high school and can work, it definitely is like worth it. I think for myself.
Okay. So we all saw the whole toilet paper fiasco. Was that a big issue at Target?
Yeah, it has been for months actually, or not months, like since early March at least. I remember sending like you and a couple other people a Snapchat whenever I first noticed it, and it was like a while ago. It was like early March that we were just like completely sold out of toilet paper, which was I just thought that was very early because even now we don't have like any toilet paper.
Really? You guys don't like you guys aren't having like a secret stash, are you?
No, a lot of customers think that we have like a secret stash in the back where we're keeping things. And I've heard stories about people who like the customers were calling to them and be like, "We know you're hiding some in the back, but we really aren't." Most of the time, it's just it gets put on the floor every morning. But there's tons of customers who are already waiting to get them, so they just go and pick them up straight first thing in the morning.
So do you work in the mornings?
I don't. I usually start working around like 1 most of the time.
Okay. Would you say it's like a busier time, or like when's the rush that you really see the people come in?
Really, uh, it feels like it's just like always afternoon, if that makes sense. Like it always feels like it's like a very dead afternoon on like a weekday because there's definitely not nearly as many people as there usually are on like our busy times. The biggest like rush I've seen is since Walmart changed their hours a couple weeks ago and they closed before Target. They closed at 8:30 and Target closes at 9. We have like this Walmart rush at 8:30 that always happens and it's really crazy. And there's like a ton of people who will come in at 8:30 and try to like pick up groceries very last minute.
Oh
But
wow.
other than that, it's kind of dead mostly.
Do you think that's because everyone's like scared of going outside?
Yeah, definitely. Like the virus is 100% the reason why that is.
Hmm. Have you seen anything like crazy? Like any people do anything wild or?
Uh, I have some firsthand stories that I can tell. Um, I had one customer who came in, and this was probably about like 2 weeks ago, but we haven't had any hand sanitizer for like a while. Like we've had absolutely no hand sanitizer. I don't think that's no like secret or anything. Like it's been in the news, it's been in everything. That hand sanitizer is something that no like retail businesses have a lot of. And he came in and he asked a coworker of mine. He asked her where it was like a couple of times, and she was finally able to show him where it was. And then he came up to me and he asked me. He was like, "So, how does you guys? What's your guys' policy on hand sanitizer?" And I was like, "We don't really have any in stock. I can show you to the shelf." He's like, "I've already been over there, and there's a sign." And he was reading the sign wrong. I don't know because we have a sign over there that says one per customer, but I think he thought it meant that we had them, but you had to like go to like guest services or something to pick it up. It was very weird. I was like, and I was trying to explain to him that that wasn't like what he was trying to say, and he he did not have it, and he got really mad, and he was like, he was all like having a fit because we didn't have any. He was like, "Well, you definitely should," and all this stuff. And I was like, I apologize, sir. Can't do anything about it." And then he just walked off. Luckily, there's nothing more than that. But he got very angry.
Have people been a lot more aggressive because of this?
Uh, yeah, definitely. And I've definitely had a lot of people ask about those like essential products like hand sanitizer, toilet paper, and other cleaning supplies. There's been a lot of people who have just uh, kept asking and asking. We have people at least once a day ask about the masks and hand sanitizer. Another weird item that's been selling out a lot is Nintendo Switches. I've had a little bit of time to work over in the tech department here and there, and somebody will ask about a Nintendo Switch probably every like 15 minutes. It's very crazy. Like you get phone calls and like, "Do you guys have any Switches?" And we're like, "No," because they just instantly sell out just like that. Same thing with the new Animal Crossing game that came out. We were sold out of that for like a couple of days, and even now we don't like. Well, I think we've had another shipment in, but we still don't even have that many copies left because people just come in and they buy all the Switches and all the games, and then just resell them online.
Funny you say that. Dylan Davis commented, "We know you're storing up all the Nintendo Switches. Give them up."
He actually came in yesterday and bought a Switch.
Dylan?
Yeah, well, it was. I think it was for his sister.
Oh,
Something.
okay. Okay? Is it because of the new Animal Crossing game that people are buying all these Switches, or do you think it's quarantine?
It's 100% because of coronavirus, but I guess the Animal Crossing game is also partly because of that. But the thing is, we've been selling out of Switches like even before the Animal Crossing game was out. Like people were already preparing for it.
Hmm. If you had to list down, would you say that March period was like that time when everyone started going prepper mode and started just like buying everything?
Yeah, definitely like mid March, like around our spring break time was when it got like super bad. People coming in all the time trying to prepare and stuff like that. Another thing, I work a lot in. Sorry, this is kind of talking about the last question. I work over in there's some sporting goods sometimes. Another thing you might not think is sold out is weights. Like we have no weights or like athletic equipment because everyone's trying to work out at home. So we're like completely sold out. And I've had a surprising number of people call in and ask if we have like any like weights, kettlebells, stuff like that to work out with.
Yeah, I know. I've been looking for a gym, dude. It's so sad not being able to work out, but you can still get
Yeah,
a killer workout from home.
exactly.
So what retail or like what department do you work in for sure?
Um, I work all around the store, and during this time, especially, I've been working in on the ship team, which is basically the people who are doing the online orders, and you have to basically shop for another person. And the ship team has we've been almost worse than like seasonal time because during seasonal people have a lot of online orders and they do a lot of store pickup because I mean it's seasonal, it's Christmas time, you have family around, it's quicker and easier. And right now, the number of orders we're getting in is comparable to that. If not, I think it's more orders than we've had in the past because people don't want to come inside the store.
Oh wow. So do you guys like just put it outside and they drive through and pick it up?
Yeah, we have like a little storage area where someone like me will go get the product, and then we pack it in the back, and then whenever they show up, they go and they just put it in their car.
Hmm. So you mentioned a lot of items selling out quickly. What items been like the hot ticket item?
Uh, as I've talked about, I'm trying to think of some things that you wouldn't really think about that are selling out. A lot of specific cleaning supplies. Obviously, the standard stuff: hand sanitizer, toilet paper, cleaning things. But I didn't expect there's this one lady who came in just looking for Febreze. We didn't even have like any Febreze. Like it was all cleaned out. Like I thought maybe we are just sold out, but it looks kind of cleaned out. I'm assuming that we've gotten more Febreze since then, though.
Has Target like returned back to normal?
Oh, definitely not. Even recently we've been implementing a lot of new measures. The first thing that is like kind of big is we've completely shut down one entrance to the store to kind of limit the amount of people that come in. We've also had announcements very frequently, I think every like 30 minutes, saying to like keep your distance and social distance and all that. We've changed the time that we close. We close at 9 now. At the checkout registers, there's these little like stickers on the ground telling you how far apart you should stay from someone. We cleaned down everything much more than we ever did. Even in the back, we have new cleaning procedures that everyone has to do at the end of the night. You have to clean everything down that's in the back. So yeah, a lot has changed
Mm.
because of this.
Do you think these I can't say the word. Do you think they'll help in the long run?
Uh, I definitely think that everything that we're doing is helping, and I think a lot of it is like this is all we can do, and we're trying our best. There's a lot of people like we can't stop. You can't stop people from coming in, and people shopping, and shopping is kind of like the main problem. But we're still cleaning and we're still helping uh, to prevent anything from being spread. And I think that overall, Target is honestly doing a good job. Like I don't know what other businesses are doing, but I think that Target's doing a pretty good job of cleaning and staying on top of everything.
Good to hear, man. Well, okay, that's really all the questions I have for you today. Do you have any big announcements or big thoughts you want to get out to the world?
I don't have any big announcements. Um, I would just say to everyone, kind of stay home. Uh, Try to only shop when you really need to, and try to only buy essential stuff that you need to get. Um, yeah, other than that, I think everything's going all right.
All right, Cabe. Well, once I finish Tiger King, I'm gonna get you back on here. We're gonna discuss Tiger
Uh,
King, okay?
Tiger King discussion.
I've
Get it going.
2 more episodes and the show is going crazy, dude.
It'll get even crazier. It'll get
Oh
even
Lord.
crazier.
Yeah, well, I'll get you on here. Maybe we could talk about Animal Crossing soon.
All right, all
I know
right.
you've been grinding on that, but thanks for coming on today, man.
Yeah, no problem.
I appreciate it. All right, see, Cabe.
Yeah.
And that was the wonderful Caleb Dorset, my oldest homie probably in a long time, the oldest homie ever. I've known Caleb since the third grade, and we've always hung out. We've always stuck through it throughout the times, and I'm glad I can still call him a friend. I can still put him on this podcast. But yeah, that was today's segment on how the coronavirus has been affecting us, influencing me. That's obviously how the retail world's looking right now. Pretty crazy, man. A lot of changes and a lot of things going weird, going different. So I'll have to figure out what's happening and what safety precautions we have to go through. In my third segment, I'll talk about something that's kind of grinding my gears a little bit. But right now, let's talk about the news. This is from the New York Times as of 2 minutes ago. It says, from these headlines, we see the glimmer of hope and new challenges as the world struggles to beat back the virus. The glimmer of hope throughout this article, they talked about Boris Johnson remaining in intensive care. I think he's in a stable condition now. Italy reported it's a lower death toll than it's been, and then China claimed the first day with no deaths. How true is that? We don't know. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these countries can claim whatever they want, but we'll never get the full number or the real number. Italy has been interesting. I've been seeing some interesting claims from them. They've been doing a lot to try and solve this issue, but for now, yeah, I think hopefully we've reached that peak. And I've seen numbers been going down a little bit, but not like crazy amount. Once this peak goes on, I feel like this is just my personal thoughts again. We're going to lift some of these restrictions, and then stuff's just going to go back up. But you can't name it all. You can't guess it all. Anything could happen like that. But yeah. Next headline is a top White House official warned in January that the pandemic could impair millions of Americans. We see this. I've seen so many articles talking about how the Chinese knew about the coronavirus last year, how we could have done so much more to stop it, and we could have. And I don't really see the benefit in blaming anyone at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because just putting blame on someone, sure, you're pointing a finger, but you're not solving an issue. So solve the issue and do your job, and not, point the finger anymore. Yes, they did not do enough that they should have done, but you live and learn. Even though it's putting millions of people's lives in danger. I don't know. You can't do anything with the knowledge that we could have done something earlier. You just gotta enact change and do change. Next headline is Britain is gripped with concerns for the health of the Prime Minister and questions of succession. Boris Johnson, like I just said, he's still in intensive care. Next headline, Black Americans face alarming rates of coronavirus infections in some states. This article I found really interesting. It talked about how African Americans are suffering coronavirus infections at a disturbing rate in some of the largest cities and states in the United States. Emerging statistics show in Louisiana about 70% of the people who have died are African American, though only a third of the state's population is black. The country around Milwaukee, where 27% of the residents are black, nearly twice as many African American residents tested positive for the virus as white people, and in Chicago, where African American residents make up a little less than a third of the population, more than half of those found to have the virus are black, and African Americans make up 72% of those who have died of the virus. Data on the race of those sickened by the virus have only been made public in a handful of places and is too limited to make a sweeping conclusion, but radical disparities in the cases and outcomes, researchers say, reflect what happened as a viral pandemic is layered on top of entrenched inequalities. The data, researchers said, and partly explained by factors that could make Black Americans more vulnerable than any outbreak. They are less likely to be insured and more likely to have health conditions and more likely to be denied testing and treatment. There is also a highly infectious nature of the coronavirus in a society where Black Americans disproportionately hold jobs that do not allow them to stay home, researchers say. If you walk outside and see who is actually still working, said Elaine Neosi from the Boston University School of Public Health. The data doesn't seem to be surprising. Interesting article. I just want to put that out there. I'm not going to discuss too much about that, but yeah, it's intriguing to see statistics match up like that. Next headline we see is that China reports no new virus for the first time since January. Like I said, we don't know if that's true or not. And the Wisconsin election fight previews battle over virus ending voting. Basically, we're getting to that time of the year where we need to make change, and people are trying to make change, even though it might not be the best change. I don't know. I don't know anything about Wisconsin politics. A little boy from Missouri. So yeah. That's all the headlines for today. I haven't really seen anything else too crazy popping up. Wall Street's back up on the rise. S&P 500 was up 3% today. Yeah, I think that's all the big news I've really seen today. Now, to our third segment, where I talk about what's going on today and what I'm doing today. I found this day to be interesting. So yesterday I got an email from my my counselors and a tweet from my counselors and stuff saying that at school tomorrow, the Jostins, the people that like give us our cap and gowns, our class rings, here's my class ring right here, class rings and stuff like that, they're going to be at the school delivering our graduation invites. Now that puzzled me because aren't we in a shelter in place? Aren't we supposed to be staying home? But I guess we can go to the school and drive through and get our graduation invites. As of now, graduation is still set to be on the same day, so our invite should still be good. But I don't know how many people are really accepting mail. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many people really want to be seeing mail, especially from that? And then, you know, if this continues to keep going on, then obviously what's going to happen is we're not going to have graduation on the same time. So they made all these cards, they gave it all to us, we all paid for them, and now we're going to ship them out. It doesn't really make up sense to me. After this podcast, I'm actually going to go pick those up, and this is that gray space that I keep talking about that I don't really understand. And we're told to stay home, we're told to not leave our houses or anything, but they think it's a good idea to have a drive-through graduation pickup where all the seniors are expected to go to school, drive through and pick up our graduation invites. Now, I mean, I don't know. You pick it up as you want, pick it up as you is, but I don't know where these people have been. I don't know where these cards are manufactured. I don't know who's touched it, who's coughed on it, who's done what. And I'm sure they'll take all the necessary precautions. They'll wear masks, they'll wear gloves and all this stuff. But you know, it's one of that gray space where I don't know where these cards have been, what they've touched, and everything. And this is just the inner germaphobe in me, but I just find that dumbfounding that they're having us do this, especially when we're told not to do this, or like not to accumulate in big populations, even though it's a really long drive through. You know, there's going to be kids that are getting out of their cars and talking to their friends. We haven't seen our friends in 3-4 weeks now. It's been a tragedy. I was thinking about this last night. I was watching some of my old vlogs, and it was just like, wow, I really do miss my friends, and I miss being able to hang out and do stuff with them. Is there anything I can do about that? No. I can call them, I can FaceTime them, I can Snapchat them, but nothing I do now is going to change it. And I know if I want this to end the curve in this whole coronavirus, I need to do my part and stay home. I saw someone tweet out, it was like April, I forgot, it rhymed, it was like April quarantine, like it was the play on the April showers bring May flowers, but it was like April quarantine leads to May Florentine, I don't know, something stupid. It was like existence, but it was like being able to be with your friends. And like, hopefully, I mean, I want to graduate. Even if I go to school for a week, I would take that over not finishing high school in the school. You know, it's a waiting game at this point, and there's not much I can do about it, and I'm just gonna wait, chill, and control the things I can control. You know, I can get all upset about anything I want, but being upset does not help me solve issues that I'm facing, you know. So I'm just trying to get stuff down, figure this out. But sorry for that little rant. That it's just been grinding my gears a little bit, and I just, you know, it's that confusion. I think the media is hyping stuff up hyping it up enough to the point where it's doing their job to make me not want to go out into the public and go out into everything else. Even though I still go grocery shopping and stuff, I'm not afraid of this disease. I'm just afraid of the implications of getting other people sick and getting myself sick also. But yeah, that was it. Today I woke up at 7. I went on my run. I did like 2 miles today. I had a killer chest workout. I got some resistance bands. Those are really nice. My mom's had those for years, and I was like, Mom, could I use those? And she was like, sure. So I used those. Yesterday, I keep hopping all around. Yesterday I broke apart one of my gaming laptops that I used to have. Funny story, it used to be my mom's. She didn't want it anymore because it was like too heavy, so she gave it to me. I played on it for a little bit, and then it just didn't hold charge anymore for some reason. So me, Ben, my friend Shane, my friend Bernie, my friend Cooper, we were all on a Discord. Austin Morris was there too, and we were talking, and I turned on this camera and I live streamed this camera to them, and I took it apart, and I literally broke it apart. You could see everything inside. You saw the circuits, the batteries. I took out the battery. I plugged in the power supply, and then it still wouldn't turn on. So I don't know what's up with it. No one knows what's up with it. So I might be in the looks of a new gaming computer, new laptop, especially for college. I'm trying to find something that will last me all 4 years, something I can do video editing on, and something I can game on, because I'm still a gamer at heart, even though I might not play all the time. So I'm just in that search. I wanted an iMac for the longest time, but I've been in the Mac ecosystem for a while, and I think enough to realize that, do I want to spend $3,000 on a laptop that's like very limiting, or $3,000 on a laptop where I can do all these other things on it? So I don't know, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm accumulating research while I was trying to do all my homework and stuff. Today I don't have a lot of stuff. I got like notes, I got a quiz, I had a lab to do, and then a photo project. I have to take 4 pictures. That's not hard, and it's supposed to be due in like the next 2 weeks, but I can bang that out today. It's going to be 75 today. When I head up to the school, I'm taking my T-tops off and cruising up there, so it's going to be a nice ride for sure. But yeah, that's what I'm doing after this podcast. Made another breakfast burrito and a milkshake, not a milkshake, protein smoothie. And later today, I'm going to try and fix my mom's computer. A couple years ago, we took out the hard drive, and we had like a hard drive reader, and she was trying to get something off it, so I plugged in the hard drive reader. And hard drive readers and hard drives inside a computer read completely differently. There's a bunch of files and stuff that we couldn't really get through or really understood what was going on. So I'm gonna see if I can get that computer fixed. I don't know, I'm in like a computer fixing mood now, I guess, because I broke apart one computer now. But yeah, I did that, and I'll probably fix that, take my photos, play some more Animal Crossing. I gotta finish Tiger King. I think that might be my goal for today, to finish Tiger King. I really want to start Game of Thrones. I've been toying with it for a while. I might start that, I don't know. But these days have just been flying by. Like, it's 11:30 already, and I feel like I haven't done anything. I mean, I've been really productive. I've worked out. I made breakfast. I've done some of my homework. I wrote questions for this podcast. Formatted all this podcast. But now it's just like, I don't know. After this, I'll go to school, come back, make lunch, do some of my homework, finish my homework. It'll be like 3 o'clock. And then from 3 to like 9 p.m., it goes like this. I don't understand it. Time's just a construct at this point. Last night I couldn't fall asleep either, but you just gotta keep on rolling with the punches. But yeah, this is it for today's episode of TREVANTINE. This is the way it's gonna be for a little bit. Hopefully not too much longer. I know I'm getting stir crazy. My friends are getting stir crazy. You're probably getting stir crazy. So yeah, keep washing your hands, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'll catch you guys on the north side.